Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm with Simon Leadbetter, who used to be Countrywide's head of marketing and also Knight Frank's head of marketing, and now has joined Keller Williams as also head of marketing. Simon, talk to me about the power of the portals on the UK estate agency industry. Talk to me.
Good question, big question. They've done a brilliant job, to have gained such market share between 2 to 3 players and have done that. They've delivered on a promise. They're doing something that customers want them to do. And that's been quite an amazing achievement to get to that dominance in a market. The challenge with that is put them in a certain position of power in terms of their relationship with agents, because all the work's done by the agent. They're simply taking the money off the top without having to do that much to get it, if I'm honest with you. And the other thing about the model that they're operating, which I find a bit frustrating, is an element of inflexibility to the way they work with agents. But most importantly, the search function itself is quite primitive as a model. If you look at other more modern search engines, they're using sort of a tick and bin list. And any estate agent I've ever spoken to is people don't tend to buy houses on a tight list of attributes. No. They fall in love with the property. And the art of the estate agent is to know within 3 seconds of walking through a front door, they don't want it. And actually, even though it ticks all the boxes, I don't know about you, Chris, I think the last few houses I've had have not ticked all of the boxes I would have ticked on a Rightmove or Super checklist. And I think they need to innovate more. I think that sort of market concentration allows them to decide not to innovate as much as they should if it was a much more distributed. If you look at estate agents, there's a lot of us, and that makes it a hyper-competitive market, so we all have to try and be better. And that's actually quite good for the industry. To have these dominant players, like in tech, with the big social media giants, whenever anyone gets too much power, it doesn't work for the intermediaries, the agents, the people actually doing the job, and it doesn't work for the end customer because they're not getting the best possible solutions. And it also, when you're that big, prevents new entrants coming in and really bringing something fantastic to the model. Google's model has always been to buy the most disruptive threats to its business model. So it just buys them and swallows them into the whole. It's a brilliant strategy. I think we'd have a much more dynamic and rich ecosystem of tech around property if we didn't have two Goliaths slugging it out against each other. Not to take away from anything they've done, as I said at the beginning. Genuinely, their feedback is far higher than the average estate agent. So they're clearly delivering a promise that a customer likes. But I do, from an economic perspective, purely economically, it doesn't help.
Isn't it interesting that the job of the portal is to put the property in front of the punter, yet estate agents judge the portals on the number of leads it provides?
Yes. We've sort of got to understand it. There's an element within estate agents, they think putting on the portal is the job. And that's not the job. The job is to sell the property, is to know the buyers in the area. But also, one person coming through as a lead, if they're the one who's going to buy it, that's great. If 20,000 come through and none of them buy it, well, that's just vanity. So what you want is to make sure the people who are coming to that property are the people who are most likely to buy it.
Isn't it interesting that Rightmove every single year chuck out some figures through the Property Academy and the Estate Agent EA Masters Awards and Best Agent Guide, that nearly, I think last year it was around 50%, the year before it was 52% of leads went unanswered on their mystery shopping.
It was my biggest bugbear at Countrywide and Knight Frank, which is the number of leads that came in and were ignored. And I just said on several meetings is, why don't we just spend less? Why are we promoting this many leads? Because we don't use them. Every person who contacts us should be looked after in some way. There's an element of people who look at it and go, nah, it's not for me. But I got lots of analysis done on terms of those people who responded to leads fastest won the business. And we were letting billions at Countrywide walk away off the table because we didn't get on top of those leads, because we felt they weren't a phone call, they weren't someone walking in the front door, or God forbid an email. It was to them sort of a new tech. But these are people who have gone, I would like to deal with you. Now, if I'm selling something, that's got to be the best invitation to trade I've ever seen.
It almost feels like estate agents see the estate agency industry and serving them when we should actually be serving others.
It's all about the customer. No, all the best businesses serve customers, and they put the customer at the very heart. It's why the Googles succeed, because what do customers want? It's why portals succeed, because of what customers want. They want one place to find all property, because it's such a complex market. And I think too many agents have got into the trap, and certainly in a corporate environment, that the corporation or the brand is the star, and it's the property and the homeowner or home investor or tenant is the star.
And even the agent themselves.
That's the person who does the business. You know, it's sort of the, you know, without going too much into Keller, it's the old corporate style is at the top. You've got the CEO and all the little minions running around at the bottom. Keller's done it the other way around. It has the agents at the top, and they are the business because they own their own businesses. And at the bottom, we just provide them the things they need to make their business lives easier.
Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Chris.